And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here for the Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On our latest episode, we talk about a return for Elder Scrolls Oblivion and our best picks for the Nintendo Switch as it's on the way out. And the Nintendo Switch 2 is on the way in. So we talk about that and more on the latest Pop Culture Cosmos. I'm hoping on Monday, Josh and I'll be able to talk about what happened with Snow White at the box office, a little bit more on Assassin's Creed Shadows, and Severance, baby. Severance finished out season 2 with a tremendous episode. So we'll talk Severance. We'll talk a little bit more about that and also as well the best of pop culture on the Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcasts. What's up, cool bro? All right. Looking forward to talking to everyone out there, but I will also go ahead and make sure you know the Lakerholics crew. You know Laker Tom is probably hit the wall right now or crinkling his Coke can or destroying his sunglasses or something because he's probably pretty ticked off right now along with the rest of the guys. Find out how bad and how mad they are at Lakerholics.com. Our good friends also as well Stone Hansen and also as well Alfred Esmond, Legend 350. Those great guys, go ahead and follow them on Twitter. Empire Jeff TV, who is on our playback, and I'll mention playback here in a second. Got a really funny thing I need to tell you if you didn't hear me on playback. Go ahead and check out as far as Empire Jeff TV for the Dodgers and the Lakers. And of course, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo, all these great places, all these great things. Please go ahead, like and subscribe, but don't forget, most importantly, to like and subscribe with us. Let's also as well become a member today for just $2.99 a month right here at the Lakers Fast Break. And last but not least, come and join and be part of the simulcast that we have on YouTube and, of course, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. It's funny because I told everybody I was going to be late. I was driving. I had the phone on. I had the game on, but it was on silent. So I stopped and pick him up, waiting to pick up my wife. And as she's coming down to where she's working, I finally turned on the sound. And I turned on the sound during the national anthem. And so when you first turn it on, you get the sound from both the game and whoever's on stage. So the first thing I heard was, "Oh, say, can you the 73-9 Warriors? Man, Jordan never played against them. LeBron played against the 73-9 Warriors. No, you're talking about Jordan is the best. Jordan's the GOAT. Jordan is the best." I hear these two at the top of their lungs during the national anthem, and I just couldn't stop laughing. I had tears coming down my eyes. I got the hiccups. And it's because of those two. So I thank you, John. On a terrible game, on a terrible day, you and Joe brought some light into our lives. And you catch that light when they go ahead and debate the GOAT for basketball in the NBA.
You know Joe's scared. Joe don't want to do that. Joe don't want to do that. That's why he's not here right now. Where you at, Joe?
Playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Oh, and he gets mad at me. If you noticed in the chat, John, when I started talking to you about the fact that you've got $100 coming your way, but someone forgot to spell Earth. They spelled it Earth.
Oh, Gerald. Oh, there he is.
That was on purpose.
What? Okay.
You really actually thought I spelled that wrong with 2 F's?
Okay.
If it was 1 F, I mean, when you look at TH, is it anywhere near F twice?
Okay. I'll just leave it at that. But again,
what? That's what I just told you what happened.
Great to have you here. And again, for that scintillating conversation, go ahead and check it out today at playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Yeah, I'm going to leave it up. I'm hoping I won't get copyright on it because it was classic. I know somebody the other day got mad at me because I took the other one down. That's because there was, at some point in time during the game, some background of the game, and I really don't want to get another copyright strike. John and I are like still 60 days-ish away from getting the reprieve from the warden YouTube. So I want to go ahead and make sure we're on the best P's and Q's, but I will try to leave it on. If you want to check it out, it's right around when the national anthem would be playing. Please go ahead and check it out today. Playback.tv/Fast Break. Well, the Lakers came in tonight. Great news. LeBron is back. Great news. Rui's back. Everybody else, great news. All back, all healthy, all playing after, those who decided to take a rest on the controversial day. And I still get to your comments from the other day. I know I've not been trying to ignore it. I'm going to get to it. I'm just, wanted to go ahead and see what happened the next day when everybody came around as far as the next game is concerned. And wouldn't you know, the Lakers, with everybody back, played the under 500, barely in the play-in in the Eastern Conference, Chicago Bulls. So you thought, okay, let's give them a tune-up. Let's get everybody right before they head out on a 4-game road trip. Well, something happened along the way in regards to that, in that tune-up. We became the tune-up for the Chicago Bulls as Coby White and also as well Josh Giddey looked like the greatest backcourt of all time. Forget about the Splash Brothers. Forget about your Jordan, debate in regards to LeBron Jordan. The best players in the planet tonight were Josh Giddey and Coby White. Josh Giddey was 3 steals away from a quadruple double. Coby White, 30 plus points. They were teeing off on the Lakers because the Lakers played defense like a traffic cone. And the vaunted defense that we saw and have been seeing since mid-January, that was nowhere to be found tonight as the Lakers got destroyed. And even when they tried in the fourth quarter to go ahead and play more incentive on defense, they tried to go ahead and really hunker down and tried to go ahead and apply some more effort. It was just too late. It got even worse from there as Chicago laid in 81 points in the second half alone. They won every quarter. They embarrassed the Lakers, and the Chicago Bulls destroyed the Lakers 146-115. I will give you guys the update here in a little bit on where they're at in the Western Conference. And here today to go ahead and talk about today's game, 2 great guys indeed. They are still friends, by the way. I know you wouldn't know it by their conversation or yelling and screaming match earlier, but they are good friends and they have a ton of respect for each other outside of that one issue. It is a good man indeed. First man up, first man here. Yeah, no turning the L light tonight. I would tell John himself, I would ask him out of respect, don't turn that sucker on because they don't deserve it. They don't deserve for you wasting your power bill on that tonight. It is, of course, John Costa from Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Please like and subscribe. Well, great stuff that he does. John, first up, again, I said on playback, I am so glad you're feeling better. But after the performance tonight, it might have made you even worse.
Yes, and it did make me much worse because, man, a game against the Chicago Bulls, I'm thinking, we got this in the bag, a team that's not only just in the Eastern Conference, which is not nearly as competitive as the West is, but just a team that's just we're outright better than. And we're getting all of our players back. Oh, man, these guys are going to come back. They're going to come back rejuvenized. LeBron James, whether he really had the growing injury or didn't want to face that tough back-to-back schedule that we had, whatever it was, I'm like, we're going to come in rejuvenized. And we came in first quarter. It was pretty solid. 14 lead changes. We went back and forth. We saw the Luka Doncic show. He had 17 points. The only thing that kind of concerned me in that first quarter was how everybody else seemed to not get going. I mean, it was literally just Luka Doncic. We ended up that first quarter with 31 points. Luke had 17 of our 31. But really where this game started to go downhill was that second quarter. That second quarter, y'all, for whatever reason, the Lakers and Joe and SB and Gerald, we all were on the playback highlighting why in the world the Lakers kept running that pick and roll and going to Vando on the short roll and asking Vando to be a decision maker. Oh my goodness. Just in that second quarter alone, I think I've seen 3 turnovers where Vando gets the ball and after that pick and roll on the short roll, and he either makes a terrible pass, fumbles the catch, or just turned over the ball on the dribble. To me, it was just one after the other. But the Lakers kept going to him in time and time again. And then the frustrating part is that on the other end, the Bulls were converting those. I mean, in that first half, y'all, the Bulls had 25 points just in transitions off those turnovers, y'all. And then let's not even talk about the fact that they had 44 points in the paint in the first half, y'all. They had 65 points in the first half, and 44 of those were in the paint. Lakers could do nothing about it. That's when, in the second quarter, is when they ran off that 14-3 run. And I'll be real with you guys, man. From that point forward, like, this team just crumbled. We weren't running teams off the line, and I'm thinking, at halftime, this is going to get better. JJ Redick's going to get on them. The leaders are going to get on them, and we're going to come out and we're going to do exactly what we need to do in the second half. No, you guys, we literally played the same way that we did in the first half. Like that second half was the same exact way. You could argue even worse. And JJ Redick, very disappointed. I'm a big believer, been a big believer, but that doesn't mean you're free from blame when you do something wrong. And JJ Redick tonight made some very questionable decisions. I don't understand not playing Dalton Connect till late in the game, especially if we're already playing bad defense. If we were just like locking down on defense and he was just the one, lone player that is like, wow, he's just not playing any defense. Nope. As a team, we were playing terrible defense. Everybody's got to be held accountable tonight, man. Everybody's got to be held accountable tonight. Luka Doncic, I love Luka, but how many finished with 7 turnovers tonight, you guys? Finished with 7 turnovers. We could not take care of the ball. As a team, we finished with 21 turnovers. That is absolutely disgusting, man. But look, man, overall, I think if I had to tell you why we lost this game is we didn't run the Bulls off the 3-point line, couldn't stop them at the rim, and just continuously turned the ball over. But as always, happy to be here, man. Happy to toast Joe earlier in playback, but yeah, as always, Gerald, you said it, and I want to preface this. Regardless of the debating and all that, Joe's my dog, man, and there's not a lot of people that would even go up in this debate with me. So much respect to you, Joe. Much respect.
I'll say this. First off, Giddey was 2 steals away from a quadruple double tonight. Shout out to Mark, a big AK Xbox, because he is absolutely a big super stan of Josh Giddey, and you know what? He showed why tonight. So very happy for Mark on that sense. But I will say this: you and I have talked about Vando a number of times. Why you guys should not have any faith on him on the offensive side of the ball. I've tried to tell Jamie this for years, and he just doesn't get it. Oh, he's going to get
stubborn
better.
like Jeff. He's stubborn
he's going to get better. Yeah, all you Vando supporters have to understand he is a problem on the offensive end. A problem. The Lakers don't have any idea what to do with him. Nothing. You can't put him on the block because he can't catch the ball. You can't have him right there at the free throw line and the key to go ahead and make that secondary pass because he just can't make the good decisions. And he is so unreliable outside when making the 3. It is a problem that the Lakers are going to have to deal with, and it's going to get exploited unless he plays even if he plays less than 20 minutes in the playoffs. I think we have to be concerned. He better play his heart out on defense, and that's all I'll say on that one. But also here today, a good man indeed. It is, of course, the guy behind Simblades, SimBladesWithAY.com. His game Corrupt, now on Steam, COREUPT on Steam. The upcoming Joe Soro Experience coming up to YouTube as well. It is, of course, Oxide. Yeah, Experience.
Experiment.
Oh, Experiment.
I know. It's okay. I've caught myself doing that sometimes too.
Yes, you and I talked about that. And I still get,
you can still pronounce it Experiment, even though it's spelled with an O and X. You don't need to put ox in front of it. Just put Experiment.
I'm just trying to get reps, man. I'm just trying to get
Yeah.
reps. It is
Trust me, it was a tongue twister for me, but it needed to be done. But thank you.
Wasn't it how many times you say it? Like if you say it 23, 24 times,
Something like that. Yeah.
something like that.
Marketing, if you see something 7 times, it stays in your head. Something like
There
that.
you go.
Yeah.
It is my good friend, Mr. Joe Soro. Joe, good to have you here.
73-9. Just tell John 73-9. He'll stop.
Tell Joe 10 scoring titles. That's all he has.
Yeah, right.
All he has.
It is, of course, Joe Soro. Joe, good to have you here. I loved your back and forth with John. It was priceless. I had tears rolling down my eyes, and I got the hiccups. It was just so hilarious to do it during the national anthem. But be that as it may, after the national anthem, it was a disaster from there on in. Funny though, Joe, 2 days ago, you and I were talking about how you just don't throw away games when you're battling for a high seed in the Western Conference. And you and I had a lot of people coming at us, but we never moved off our position. We never moved off our position at all. So at the end of the season, if the Lakers do not get second, but are close to it, I wonder why. Joe. I wonder why.
Well, I mean, we could get deep in this. I think we've got.
Oh, I would love to. I would absolutely love to.
We are, regardless of what we say, we're going to be the Clint Eastwood character in Gran Torino, even if we're right.
Which we are, by the way.
We're the get off our lawn thing. I have this issue with my younger pissant cousins that think they're big dick McGee's, right? And of course, the second I turn it on, see, guys, I don't turn it on as much on here as much as you guys think I do, because I can get pretty vulgar and I can get pretty personal because I'm vicious like that. I don't want to do that because it sets a bad precedent on something that's, everyone's looking at it. A lot of people, let's say in Australia, are not going to understand some of the lingo. Philippines as well. So I don't want to be that guy. But the thing is, I'm about what's going on now. I'm not against technology. I'm not against certain adaptable, better things of 2025. But there are fundamentals that don't seem to stay. And yes, Chris, I will be, when my show goes on, it's going to be a little bit more of that. Maybe not all the way, but a little more, because I don't want to get Gerald in trouble here. Anyways, there's a mindset. And you can if you want to stick with just what we're watching versus what I usually try to say is, when I was taught how to broadcast, I was taught to have the audience identify with what's going on in this sporting event or situation. So when we talk about, I always use the CEO, because I heard your favorite again, Colin Cowherd use it. I thought it was a good example.
Your favorite, not mine.
So Colin Cowherd used CEO. That's the easy one to say. Otherwise, I'd say other things. But the CEO, like the quarterback, is usually the CEO of a football team. That's kind of using a comparison to the people who might not listen to you, or I'm sorry, the people who listen to you that don't know sports. They'll know what that means. And what's happening here is, when you go to work and you take a week off, what happens? If you're one of those guys that actually works, I'm not talking about some mundane minimum wage job. Anybody can do that. Those are just pawns usually. What happens? You get behind in your work. You're not as sharp. You're catching up on what's going on. And you're not getting paid $30, $40, $50 million a year either. Are we being harsh? Can you really be harsh to somebody making $40 million a year? No. To play basketball?
No.
To play football? Football is a little different, I guess. Maybe injuries. And the irony of that is, those guys try to play every game too, because their contracts depend on it, because there aren't guaranteed contracts in the NFL, right? But in the NBA, they're guaranteed. Not only are they guaranteed, they're enabled to miss games. And almost most of the fan bases support being lackadaisical. They're not expecting, they're not demanding the stars to play every game. I use LeBron as a outlier in this, or as an exception, because he is a unique talent in that he is playing way deeper in his career than anyone has. So we understand that he might not be able to play day in and day out. But what's the excuse to the 25, 26-year-old when he's not injured? That's the question I want you guys to answer for me. Because this would have been much better for LeBron to come into a team that was playing together instead of missing games on convenience or quote unquote rest. This team does not have any room to rest. There's no room to rest. I'm sorry. If you guys wanted to rest, maybe you should have won more games in December and in January then. If you want to rest. If you're up like the Oklahoma City Thunder and you want to do this, okay, I'll buy into that. But more often than not, you kind of hear that. I'm going to use the NFL as an example again. A lot of times when teams kind of take their foot off the pedal and rest their guys before they go into the playoffs, what ends up happening is they're usually not in tune as much in the first game, no matter what it is, no matter who they're playing. You risk that. So why would you risk that? Well, what if somebody gets hurt? Well, I'd rather you be ready to play and get hurt than scale back and lose your aggressiveness and your rhythm. I see more harm in those than I do the other way around. Tonight, I think what we saw tonight was a foreshadowing of what the Lakers are going to have to deal with when they meet athletic perimeter players.
Houston.
Houston.
OKC. Which is why I don't want to face them.
Cleveland. Celtics. I don't care about the Western Conference, guys. The Lakers have to be able to win all series. That includes whatever team they would meet in the finals should they get there. I don't care about the West. I care about every round. That's all 4 rounds. What is the problem? What are the things that are not going to likely get solved? I'll tell you right now. I'm going to tell you one of them. 1, Jared Vanderbilt will be destroyed in this playoff run if he plays like he played tonight. And if he doesn't figure out how to hold a goddamn ball, I don't even know if you're going to play him. I don't know if you should play him at all. He can't even catch the fucking ball. And why are you doing pick and rolls with him and he's going baseline on top of that? Like, you want Jared Vanderbilt to go baseline? Really? Is that what you want to do? He can barely make a layup when there's no one in front of him. You want him to go baseline. That stuff has to stop. And if you're not going to play connect because his defense sucks, I don't see any reason why you play Jared Vanderbilt when his defense sucks too. Tonight, he looked like he didn't know what the fuck he was. He didn't know. He looked like he didn't even know what the hell basketball was.
Can I add DFS in there, Joe? Go ahead, my friend. Your thoughts on DFS?
So yeah. And here's another thing with DFS. That's one of the players that I couldn't understand was missing games. I did not like that. Why was he missing games? The Brooklyn game, I still say if they had had him in there, they probably would have won that game. Why wasn't he playing in the Milwaukee game? Like, what's going on with DFS? Does he have a chronic injury that we don't know about? Probably not. Why is he resting? Why did Austin rest? Why are they resting? These guys are young. Austin played 82 games last year. I don't understand it.
Come to think of it, Joe, to your point, and I'll let you go really quick. I think that was Austin's, and correct me if I'm wrong, in my opinion, that was his first, just like, I'm going to just take a rest game. Like, I feel like last year, he still had the mentality of like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to play every game. You know what I'm saying? I think that was his first time and like, oh, I have nothing lingering. I'm going to just sit this one out. But go ahead, Joe.
Well, again, if you guys ever need to come in to talk, do it the way you just did it. We catch, I think Gerald's starting to get really good at and I have to work on that too, where I'll stop talking for a second and then let you guys, if I feel like you guys need to chime in.
I wanted to put that in.
Sometimes you have something to say you don't want to forget. Sometimes you have something to say you don't want to forget, and it kind of adds to the discussion. So don't worry about that. It's a no-win situation when you do this as a commentator or as an analyst, because the second you're wrong, all your credibility goes to shit. And what people focus on, and this includes my boys out in Lakers ball. I couldn't stop hearing enough shit about Bronny in this last game. All I heard was Bronny this, Bronny that. I'm like, you guys, are you guys okay? Is this what we're talking about? We just got waxed by a team at home, and literally 8 of your players were out. What are you guys talking about? Why is this even a discussion? Joe, you were wrong. See, he's an NBA player. I don't know shit about Bronny James and whether he's an NBA player. The guy was a negative 36. What is that going to do for the Lakers? Like, I don't understand where this comes from. You guys all want to be right? Like, I don't know. Are you just want to pick fun when someone says something you don't like to hear?
Let me just add it in real quick, Joe. Rodell, one day ago, let me get you his comment real quick. I'm just looking at it now because I'm just responding to him now because of that day. I didn't want to hear it from you guys on that one for what we said 2 days ago. He said, guys, chill. It was 6 games and 8 nights. This is probably the first time an NBA team has done this. The California Fires moving a schedule. I get it. The guys needed the rest because of all the games compressed into this week. I hate load management too, but I do understand this one with the unusual circumstances. So, Joe, fast forward a day and a half. Lakers fast break. Basketball gods from Rodell tonight. Basketball gods got the revenge tonight. When you punt games, this is what happens. DFS has a bad ankle, and he had it before he joined the Lakers.
Maybe you should take a month off then and let it heal. When you play, you play. I don't want to hear about your ankle issues. Boo-hoo. Are you injured or are you hurt? Oh, you don't understand, Joe. You never played in the NBA. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
We could put that to bed right now, though, Joe.
No. It's never going to be put to bed. It's never going to be put to bed, and I want to keep talking about it because I want everyone to know what I need to know about what the fuck I'm watching. What does me playing in the NBA have to do with anything about me telling you that Jared Vanderbilt sucks? Do I have to get his box score to show you, or do I have to replay everything? I can't show you film on here. I would. I swear to God I would. But we can't because all the copyright ninjas are going to come out everywhere. Otherwise, I'd show you. And then at that point, it probably wouldn't matter anyways. What else is going on here? What? Oh, you'll see, Joe, when they start winning in the playoffs. Okay. You know what's sad is Luka was on a tear tonight, guys, and it looked like an all-timer, and we lost it. We talk about greatness. I talk about greatness. Okay, embrace greatness. Greatness is about being available. Number one. And when I was talking to John about being available, when I was arguing about his LeBron MJ thing. MJ was available game in, game out. And not only was he available, he was relentless. When you grow up, maybe I grew up at the right time, or maybe I grew up at the wrong time compared to what you guys grew up with. When you watched for 15 years the most relentless player I've ever seen, and then after that guy retired, I saw the next guy that was just as relentless. And the reason why Kobe was just as relentless, if not more, probably more than Michael, was because Kobe had to make up that little extra that God gave MJ. The big hands, the fast twitch, the half a second fast twitch jump. So you grow up for 30 years, 35 years, used to that. And then you go to what? You go to now, you have a bunch of people online or viewers or fans making excuses for guys making $40 million a year so they don't play? What the fuck happened to everybody? What happened? Pussy ass shit. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't care what you call me or what I do. This is you want to talk about facts. There's nothing worse than that, in my opinion. Not being available. You're getting paid all this money to play basketball. You're not storming Normandy, man. You're not. You're playing basketball, and you're 26 and you're 27. Yeah. No, not buying it. Sorry.
And Rodell saying Vando played minutes, guys. He played 11 tonight. 11. And he had the previous game off.
Hold on. No, let me say. Oh my
God. Hold on.
God.
Let me just finish. He had Thursday off. He played 18 minutes. He hasn't played over 20 minutes in a week.
He did that in 11 minutes too. Imagine if he had played 20 minutes. He would have had 17 turnovers.
Thank you so much. No, that's what I was gonna say. Riddell, first of all, I don't think nor Joe, Gerald, nor I have said that Vando was the reason why we lost this game. But we have said that he was a big he is a big reason, not the sole reason, but brother, for you to say that him playing 11 minutes like didn't really, from your comment, it says 11 minutes Vando couldn't have cost us the game. It sounds like you don't think he affected this game. And I'm going to tell you something honestly, Riddell, and I hope you're watching. I don't think you watched this game. If you really said that, I don't think you watched this game. I really don't think you watched this game because...
Again, look at this, John. Again, just like Thursday.
Let me interrupt real quick, John. Right there. Look at this. One game, y'all need to chill.
Crazy.
Fuck your chill. How about that, Bernard? Fuck your chill. I'm tired of fucking chilling. I chill at home, okay? I chill at home. I spent 3 hours watching this trash, and I've watched 6 hours total of watching trash the last 2 games. Don't fuck me. Don't tell me to fucking chill, okay? These fuckers are making 20, 30, 15, whatever the fuck $1 million. They need to not chill. They need to be available and play when they're not injured. LeBron was injured, fine. Luka was injured for 2 fucking months, and I'm hearing about how he needs more rest. He had 2 months. 2 months where he didn't play. What do you mean chill? Chill for what? You don't have time to chill. There's no time to chill. You need to win these games at home against a team that was 30-40. A team that was last place in the freaking East. A shitty conference that's been a shitty conference for almost 30 years. Don't tell me to chill. You go chill. I'm sick and tired of all you soft-ass bitches with your chill shit. Fuck that. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to come and I'm going to call you all out. I'll call LeBron out. I'll call JJ. I don't give a fuck. What are they going to do? Come after me? Go ahead. It's your guys not doing shit. You're getting paid this money. You get paid $6 million, $50 million. That allows us as a fan base that wastes our time because you want to go rest. You want to go rest. And you waste our time with that shit. We're paying that shit, right? With our cable bills and our satellite bills and our tickets when we go. Yes, we do have a say. Goddamn right we have a say because we pay your ass because we're watching. The advertisers are paying money so that we watch and you put that money in your pocket. But are you available? Oh, well, chill. We're good. We got to be ready for the playoffs. What the fuck is going to happen when you get to the 5th seed now? Because you're too busy jerking off for 4 or 5 games. Didn't we learn this lesson with Darvin Ham? Didn't we learn that lesson already? What happened? You got your ass waxed by Denver 2 years in a row. Taking it easy.
Yeah. To what I was saying earlier, Riddell, you just answered my question. He said here in the chat, no, I watched from the 3rd quarter. Okay, so then you didn't watch the first half because the first half was the abysmal Jared Vanderbilt every single time coming off the pick and roll, short rolls, turnover off the dribble, turnover off catching it, turnover to the pass. So that's the number one. That's the number one thing I would say. Riddell is like coming here in the chat and trying to back Jared Vanderbilt when he got outplayed and just didn't play good at all. Honestly, like to what Joe said, I'm thankful he played 11 minutes because if he would have played 20, he no joke might have had 17 turnovers tonight. So yeah, that's what I'll say. That's all I'll say on that, to be real with you.
Well, John, I remember when when they made the trade for DFS. And everybody was saying what a good trade it was. Joe was saying good trade, but more because they got rid of D'Lo, addition by subtraction. But everybody was saying that DFS is going to take a leap and that DFS, once he got Luka He's going to take that leap and all that. And I said, well, wait, he has always been a 10-point a game player. This is who he has been. This is who he will be throughout the rest of his career. He will not be the guy that at times looks like he's a real player, John. He looks like a real player. It looks like he has a lot of tools in his tool bag. But then there are just some nights where he just barely looks like an NBA player. And tonight, unfortunately, was one of those nights. And he, as the guy, is supposed to be your main defender out on the perimeter. He did not provide any help at all. Vando, who is the other supposed main perimeter defender out there, John, Zippo help out there, and he looked even worse on offense, if you could even believe that. So I don't know. I don't know, John. I mean, these guys, I understand as rotation players, they are and going to be up and down, but those two guys, they have to bring it on defense. When they're not bringing it on the offensive side of the ball, John, those two guys in particular have to key the defense, and they did nothing tonight to stop the constant wave of made shots out in the perimeter by the Bulls tonight, John.
Yeah, they did nothing, and to harp on my point that I talked about earlier of like JJ Redick really kind of fucking up this game is the fact of you don't put Dalton out there because of the lack of defense, but then you kept those two players out there. And mind you, Dalton has something to provide on the offensive end. And but you left Vando and DFS out there who is also providing no defense and don't ever provide the same amount of offense that Dalton does. So to me, very questionable head scratching moves from JJ tonight. A lot of them, honestly. I just seen a tweet earlier saying that there was a picture of Darvin Ham saying that this is what JJ Redick was like tonight, and unfortunately, I would have to agree. I would have to agree. JJ looked like JJ Ham tonight.
The 146 points allowed by the Lakers are tied for the most ever, Joe, in a non-OT home game. The last time they allowed 146 points at home, Joe, was to the Nuggets in 1984.
Wow. That's actually crazy stat.
1984. So with that, Joe, again, the Lakers now go out into a 4-game road trip. They're now in 4th place in the Western Conference. Thank God Memphis is really stinking it up right now, and the Nuggets don't seem interested in playing, so they're still meandering right around the Lakers, fortunately. But Houston, we're just, with their easy schedule right now for the next 2 weeks until it gets harder for them, I really don't have a whole lot of confidence that this team is going to get where they need to be. Like you and I have said, the history tells you need to usually be 1 or 2. And I don't know if the Lakers will get to 2. I really have my doubts after watching tonight's performance and heading out on a place where they're under 500 on the road.
It's been an oddity year. It's just been one of those years where nothing makes sense. Some of it good, most of it good. You acquire Luka Doncic. You can definitely sit there and say that the year is always going to be a positive no matter what, because there's going to be additions coming once there's the availability to that. I don't know. I don't know what to expect at this point. I'm going to react to what I saw today in the last couple of days, because that's how it should be. We're reacting towards things that were horribly done. Not playing certain players in the last game, got destroyed. You bring everybody back in this game. For some weird reason, no one decided that they wanted to play any defense. Why? I mean, I know athletic guards are going to give you a hard time, but I'd like to think that the Chicago Bulls have talent, but not that good a talent. This isn't Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum coming after you. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. Or Darius Garland for Cleveland, or Chris Paul in his prime. I'm not going to accept it. And maybe it's more frustrating because you do have a team that has a chance versus when they didn't have a chance. And you want to take advantage of this. You want to try and take advantage as much as you can. And the higher you sit, even if you don't make it, I want everyone to really understand what I'm saying here. When you play passive, you're going to be passive later. No one ever gets criticized for playing hard. Who gets criticized for playing hard? Who gets criticized for going all in? Is that what you're worried about? You're worried about somebody saying, "Oh man, if we hadn't played really hard to get to a second seed." Is anybody going to say that? Are you worried about that? Or you've been bamboozled and you've been manipulated into thinking soft? It's soft. Go ahead, John.
No, go ahead, brother. I thought you were done.
It's a soft mentality, and it's not just the Lakers. It's society in general. I see it every day. So Jeff and I are good friends, very good friends. And like friends do, we crack on each other. But Jeff did say something that was true. There's a reason why I'm a lone wolf, because I can't be around, and I'm not playing sports. I'm not playing sports. I'm actually playing something a little bit tougher. I got to make sure that my business is not making 40. I can't sit for 2 fucking weeks. Otherwise, the fucking bills don't get paid. So I got to go hustle, and I got to go do shit. And I got to deal with barriers. Like, I have to get certifications, and I have to understand that I got to go qualify for shit and all this stuff just to advance. So you go through all this, and who's going to be there? Who's going to really do the job? I have friends of mine. Joe, you have a job for me. These are my best friends, too, by the way. These are people I love. Guys, I actually say I love you to when we get off the phone. That's how much I love these guys. But they're pussies in the business world. They are. And I say that not to be derogatory. They're just not. They're not. They want to go to work and be told what to do. They want it to come to them. They don't want to go get it. You want freedom, guys? You really want freedom in your life? Come shadow me for 2 weeks and I'll show you what freedom looks like. Now, I don't have a Learjet. I don't have a penthouse in Manhattan. Don't need any of that shit, by the way. But I can do what I want. And I can do what I want anytime I want. That's my proof that the way I do it works. So if I want to project what I think is right and good, especially coming from a sport that I've seen it already that way. Imagine if one player thought like Kobe and Michael and those guys. Just one. He would dominate this league if he's got the talent. Why not? Why not? Why not try to bring that back a little bit? But no, we got to rest. And we got to rest. And we got to rest. And we got to rest until at some point that vehicle that you keep resting, when it's time to show what you got, that shit, you didn't turn that car on enough. You didn't turn it on. You had it in the shop for 2 weeks. You didn't turn it on. The engine had no feel at that point. That shit needs to be turned on every day. So I don't know. Maybe I'm on that crusade of trying to convince today's world, the Gen Zs, the millennials, whatever the fuck they are, that you guys are a bunch of pussies. And I need you to prove to me that you're not. Now you're going to come at me with, hey, I'll show you I'm not a pussy. I'll punch you in the face. Is that what you're going to do? Is that what you're talking about? Hey, I'll beat you one-on-one in basketball. I'll run you over. Okay. You guys know my address. All you got to do is go to Sin Blades on Google. You know where my company is. You can come see me. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead. The point is, this is the residue of weakness. What you saw the last 2 games is the residue of weakness. I highly recommend that Mr. J.J. Redick, Mr. Cool Quips, Plumber Comments, and watered down drinks. I want you to use all that bravado, Mr. J.J. Redick, And I hope you went in the locker room tonight and told everybody what a bunch of pussies they looked like tonight, because that's what I would have done. And I would have looked right at LeBron too, and I would have looked right at Luka, and I would have looked right at DFS, and then the last one would have been Vando. And I would have also told them, don't ever, ever, ever use the word Rodman again in describing yourself.
I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. Man, look, this is the last thing I'll add here, because I am gonna have to do my recap.
I'm sorry, John. Did you like that Jericho thing at the end there, Gerald? I don't know if you noticed it. What was that?
I did. Ever.
Look, I think to Joe's
You're on
point,
the list, buddy. By the way, you're on the list.
Me or Joe?
No, it's another Chris Jericho thing.
Okay,
you're on the list.
The only Chris Jericho I know is the wrestler, the Y2J or Y2K or whatever.
Y2K.
In one of his several gimmicks that he had.
One of the greatest entrances.
The Walls of Jericho.
One of the greatest premier entrances, I think. That might be number one for me.
Really?
Yeah.
The Stone Cold Steve Austin is kind of cool though.
No. I'm talking about like when he left WCW to come to WWF.
Oh, I wasn't.
I mean, I know that Scott Hall coming from the crowd was big, but the spectacle of it all, I think I remember I was hyped when he came out. I kind of knew it was him, and then as soon as you saw break the wall down and you see Jericho come up, I was like, oh.
Classic. No, that's a classic. Yeah, Chris Jericho is a fucking legend. But you know who has a chance to be a legend? JJ Redick. I hope that he fixes his mistakes he made tonight, man. He started off this season just playing, like, disregarding Dalton Connect as a player. The whole trade thing happened, and then Dalton Connect finally got some more confidence going in him, and then JJ Redick started giving him some more playing time tonight. Absolutely fucked up with that. Has some terrible rotations. Continuously went to two players. One thing that, like, great coaches are in the NBA, but you need to be able to walk this fine line, is you have to be stubborn. Like, sometimes, you got to keep doing what is working, but you also have to be able to understand that sometimes you got to change that shit up. And tonight he would not change that shit up, kept going to that Ando out that short roll. That was terrible. We were not running teams off the line. Like, I watch so many players for the Bulls just wide open cash and nobody running out, closing out, no rim protection, but that, that's partly due to just the way our roster is built. And last thing I'll say is this, man. I think that tonight, and I said this the day that we lost to the Jazz and we got, like, blown out with all those bigs, tonight is a foreshadowing, and it's going to show, what's going to happen when we go up against teams deep in playoffs that is just going to penetrate inside, and we just have no way to slow that shit down. We have no way to slow that shit up. And the scary part is this was against the Chicago Bulls. We had freaking Dalen Terry and whatever the other guy's name that went off, Coby White, and we had those guys going off and getting whatever they wanted in the paint. Can we only imagine what it would be against the OKCs of the world, the Clevelands of the world, the Bostons of the world? It genuinely terrifies me, guys. But on that note, I do want to thank Joe, want to thank Gerald, want to thank everybody out here. I'm going to hop to do my recap really quick. The show will keep going on, so everybody's out there, please do not hop. Joe and Gerald will keep giving you guys great content. But I just wanted to tell you guys, if you guys want to check out my channel, please do. It's called Lakers Corner on YouTube. I record 3-minute recaps of every game. Do like a little bit more of a detailed breakdown of every game as well. Follow my social media. Instagram, it's Lakers_Corner. TikTok is Lakers Corner 24, and Twitter is Lakers Corner 2. But besides that, it was a great show tonight, and I will see you boys on Monday. And
yes, we will see.
Hopefully when I see you guys, I am a adult league Bay Area champion, because I got my finals game tomorrow.
Wishing you all the best on that, and glad you're feeling better, my friend. It is, of course, John Costa, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Please like and subscribe today. John, there you go. Unfortunately, though, you do have to let him know that, please, in the comments in Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner, Jordan is the GOAT. But, Joe, let me bring it back to you, my friend. Once again, the Lakers lose and handily 146 to 115. The Lakers are now 43-27. They're 2.5 games back behind Houston Rockets, 2 games back in the loss column. I heard all today when I was thrust into hosting the Lakerholic show earlier today, but it's okay, Gerald. They've got 2 games against the Houston Rockets. If they win those 2 games, they'll be ahead of them. Even if they're tied, they'll be ahead of them in the Western Conference seedings. The problem is with a game like tonight, Joe, your room for error is now nil. There is no more room for error. The Lakers now have to win both those games against Houston and also have to have a better record against Houston the rest of the way. Now they have to scoreboard watch the entire way and hope that Houston has not only a worse record than the Lakers, even though they have an easier schedule, Joe, they also have to beat them twice at the Crypt. Your thoughts on where the Lakers go now, heading out on the road?
You can make up a lot of ground by coming back 4-0 in the road. If they could do that, there's still a possibility of them getting a second seed. Right now, they're still looking good to keeping a third seed if they win most of the time. But all it takes is Memphis to start winning 3 or 4 in a row, Denver to win 3 or 4 in a row, where that becomes a little dicey. I don't know how this is going to play out, but the good thing is we only have 3 weeks left to find out. And I keep hearing the same thing from everybody. Seeding doesn't matter. This is something that you're not going to get right. You're just not going to get this one right. This one, you can come back. Well, most people don't remember your correct analysis. They only remember the 1 out of 10. Just like a left tackle, when he can run 10 plays with perfect protection on the quarterback, but that one blindside sack that causes a fumble, they get remembered for that one play. And I understand that. It is what it is. But I hope the Lakers are not in that same mindset, because getting a 2 seed gives them a chance. A 3 seed lessens their chances, in my book, by 20%. Because then you don't know if you can guarantee yourself a home series the next round. If you can guarantee at least the first 2 series, especially with a team that's played better at home, other than the last 2 games, obviously, you have young players and the pressure is going to be a little tighter. If you think Vanderbilt's is bad now, wait till the playoffs start. I would venture into thinking that Vanderbilt might not be seeing a lot of time on the court when things really get heavy. And I don't know if Dalton will either, unless he's hitting his shots left and right. So the rotation's shortened in the playoffs. So let's talk about that for a second, so you guys understand where we stand here. The starters are going to be Jackson Hayes, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Rui Hachimura, and Austin Reeves. Now, they could use Rui as a 6-man and put DFS in there depending on a matchup. Cool. But that's 6 guys, and then you have Gabe Vincent. And then you have to have a backup big, usually. However, I think they're not going to use a traditional backup big. I think they're going to rotate DFS as a center, maybe use LeBron sometimes, maybe use Rui. So you're only going to have 1 big, real big, probably giving minutes. Rotations shortened to about 7, if you're lucky 8. If you're lucky. So
One thing. Oh, go ahead.
So to to understand what I'm talking about here is you're essentially going to have, let's say Rui starts. Let's just use him as a starter. You're only going to play DFS and Gabe Vincent off the bench. Yeah. Regularly. Because if you put Vanderbilt in there, which they will probably use him here and there, but it'll quickly blow up in their face if they're not careful. Because his ability to coherently control the ball is abysmal. And it's been abysmal, and it never has really ever improved. As a matter of fact, if anything, it's gotten worse. And if he doesn't play defense, he's absolutely useless. And he's not a shutdown guy anyways. As good as he's played this year in certain defensive spurts, he's not a shutdown guy, guys. He's a lane coverer. He's more of a zone type player. He gets in the passing lanes and he risks. That's his best work, is when he can risk a little bit. Passing lanes and risk. But they can't do that as they get deeper into the playoffs. So I hope JJ Redick can figure that out and get back to when they were playing really, really good defense, team defense, because
John, I know you did your recap and you're heading on out, but before you do, I just wanted to let you know tonight is a busier day for us on the show and on the channel. More active on the channel as far as the number of names, number of people. And if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Thank you for stopping by. There was one name, though, I don't see on this list. And I thought he spoke the truth. Did he not, John?
He said he spoke the truth. He said that he betted me $100 LeBron James would not return until playoffs. And I told him, dude, I'll take you up on that bet right now. And he's not here. He's not here. I have not seen him. Gerald, I will be on the lookout every single stream to collect my money. I will be on the lookout every single stream to collect my money. I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely. So just wanted to remind you, my friend. But yeah, I speak the truth,
Empire
guys.
Jeff, someone actually made that bet.
Yes.
If anybody look, you know what? However many people there is in here right now, we're putting a bounty out. Okay. If anybody sees I speak the truth here in the chat, you let them know they owe John $100. Please do.
That they do. They called it.
What happens?
They made the bet.
You'll see. YYC. You'll see.
Yes. And Intel owes Sean $100 as well. So yeah, man, the money's flying. There you go.
Money's flying.
But John, I appreciate again stopping by. I know you need to go, but
I'm just
good luck
editing
tomorrow.
right now. Yes.
Good luck to you tomorrow, and wishing you all the best. Feel better, and good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
All righty. All the best. Wanted to make sure he got that in there. But Joe, Robert Wheeler, question of the day. I was thinking about ignoring it, in all respect to you, Robert, because I don't know if you really wanted us to approach it, but on a scale of 1 to 10, I will approach it anyways. How surprised were you with today's loss to the Bulls? He said he was only a 5. I find that hard to believe. Anybody out there like us thinking that, oh, the whole team's back, we should be good. But okay, armchair quarterback, hindsight's 50-50. All right, Robert, if you really want to believe it, you're not that surprised that the Lakers lost today. Okay, we'll give that to you. Your thoughts, my friend, on your level of surprise with today's performance?
Greatly surprised, especially with what Luka was doing in the first quarter. I thought we were going to see an all-timer. And the game wasn't that – the game was pretty much even going into the half. I assumed that Luka would continue to do what he was doing, and then JJ would adjust to Chicago's relentless to-the-basket offense. But it actually got worse. I was surprised. I was expecting a win today.
Yeah, it is surprise, Bess. Don't tell me it isn't surprise. Look at their overall record. That's what is their overall record, Joe, with tonight's victory?
31. Well, after tonight, 31-40. They're dead last in the Central.
Yeah, let's not go there because you say they're 7-3. The Lakers had everyone healthy back.
Tired from what? They didn't play last 5 days.
And he had he also had the fourth quarter off in the game that he did play.
Tired.
So don't tell us he was tired. Don't tell us he was tired.
Just keep making excuses for everything, guys. You know, you're gonna live your life making excuses, and then when you're 60 years old and Social Security is not enough to cover your expenses, you're still gonna be using excuses at that point. Just a horrible way to live life, guys. Seriously, a horrible way to live your life. This is a minimal thing with sports, but people carry this in their own lives. Well, I partied really, really late last night. That's why I wasn't able to work this morning. Right? Is that the excuse? I'm sure your clients or the people that you're servicing give a shit whether you drank the night before. Yeah. No, thank you. I'm not. Again, I'm going to reiterate Empire Jeff's comment, and it was a compliment. And it is, I am a lone wolf because I can't fucking be around a bunch of fucking yappers that make excuses. I can't do it. And I've been very fortunate to have a business where it's flourished, and it has everything to do with the fact that everything is about being relentless. The only reason why I'm not a multi-millionaire yet is because you do have to factor in that there are barriers you got to go through, and you have to make a ethical decision too in a lot of cases to get to the next level. Problem is, I am not going to steal money from people, and I'm not going to screw people over their money either. That tends to be something that I've come across sometimes. Not doing it. I want to be quality. I don't want to be quantity. So it takes a little longer when you want to do it right. What I mean by doing it right is I want to maintain my quality. When you want to maintain the quality, it takes a little bit longer because you ain't fucking people out of their money. And a lot of that is due to the fact that if you hire a bunch of fucking jerk-offs and they're not really about doing shit and making excuses, talking about how, oh, their girl this, and I did this last night, I rolled my ankle, or my uncle's cousin's sister's roommate did something. Fuck all that. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Just like you don't give a fuck about when that shit happens to me. It's a dog world. Sorry. Get your shit done. And athletes and these guys should get it worse because of the amount of money they make. Whether they earn it or not is irrelevant. The market says that's what they're going to get paid. Well, you're going to get paid $40-50 million. I don't want to hear about your fucking shit being all tired. Take less money then if you want to play less games. Take less money if you want to play less games. Take less money. You hear that, folks? I want to be very clear on this. You want to reduce games? Take less money so that you can allocate that money to another guy who can cover your ass. Who is going to come to my face and tell me that's wrong? Who? If you do, you don't have any common sense. And I'm just going to look at you and go, okay, good. You think that's normal? Okay. You're an idiot. Get the fuck out of here.
Rui Hashimura, after the game, said his knee feels about 70 to 80% back to normal. He says he recognizes that it will likely be that way for a while, so long as he keeps playing through the tendinopathy. He could use more rest on it, but that's just not an option right now, Joe.
Coby played the 2011 season mostly without cartilage between his knees. Yeah, you got to play hurt sometimes. Coby played with a broken shooting finger, something that the last 5 years of his career pretty much destroyed a shot. You know when he messed up that finger, Gerald? Do you remember?
Yes.
It was the first game Pau Gasol came to LA, or first game Pau played as a Laker.
Mm-hmm.
And he scored 6 points in that game.
Sam said, all things considered, this is the same team that beat the New York Knicks, the Clippers twice, Minnesota, Denver, Dallas, Portland, and the New Orleans Pelicans in 8 straight wins last time they played together.
What is that?
So much for that one.
Mission, pussy. How do you say that? Mission? I can't pronounce it. Sounds funny though. Pussinopathy. Pussinopathy.
There he is. There you go.
That's a good one.
YYC says, you took the lone wolf thing. Yes, YYC does. Remember, this is the man who was called by a troll, a narcissist, and Joe for the next hour went on a rant complimenting the guy for saying that and complimenting himself for being one. So he likes the lone wolf thing.
It's true, though. It's true. It's so true. You just have to hang out with me for a couple weeks. You don't even need. You wouldn't even maybe even need it to a couple weeks. The couple weeks thing. It was always an invitation to those who I wanted to test to see if they have 2 weeks to really want to be something. That's not what everyone else is doing. There's always a sacrifice in really taking a chance and doing shit on your own. It really is, because I have a house payment. I have a family. I have kids. But you got to find ways to hedge your bets sometimes. I am fortunate that my wife has a career too. Maybe I don't take that risk if she didn't. Probably not. I mean, before I met my wife, I left home after 5 weeks when I graduated from high school. I was on my own at 19, had an apartment, had a job, was full-time as a student. So because I actually went back in my head and I said, would I have done this? In the end, my whole life has always been a risk-taking endeavor. And I've always been by myself with the help of family and friends too. With help in terms of support, in terms of dialoguing and mentoring. So what I'm telling you here is this is the result of growing up just kind of being advised to handle your business. I was never told in my entire life that I was nothing or I wouldn't make it. It's actually the exact opposite. It was expected that I would go to college and I would graduate and be successful and be a power of industry type thing. The only thing that I wish I could have done is I wish I would have been able to make it to the NFL. That was my dream. That was what I wanted to do, but the body didn't allow me. But I'm very close to getting to the second option. And what I try to tell you guys here is I'm not an old man. I'm 47. I might be older than I was 20 years ago, obviously, but I'm not an old man. I'm with it. I know what things are. And there's a lot of things I don't want that happened 20 years ago. There's a lot of good things that are going on right now, but there's also a lot of shitty things. And those need to be called out. They need to be called out because they're lazy and they're weak. That's a good one, EJ. Life's a trip, gay, no? Oh, props to that. Hey, make sure you got that mask on, Jeff. I don't want you smelling that fireworks smoke, man. That stuff is bad for you. For those of you who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, apparently there was a house in Pacoima that blew up. I think it was the fireworks.
Yes.
Some of us cynics think it was something else. So yeah. So okay, so the Lakers beat Orlando on the road, and then we'll be back to being all we are the world, right? Because that's what we do, right? We got to go with what's happening at that moment. We're living in the moment. That's another thing, guys. Live in the moment. Stop taking things so seriously sometimes. Sometimes you can rant about something, and sometimes you kind of just take the punches. Tonight was unacceptable. I don't think anybody's going to deny that. They should not be losing to the Bulls at home, allowing 146 points. I don't care how good that team was shooting. You cannot allow a team, especially with a full roster, to score 146 points on your home court in which you have been pretty damn good at. Just can't do that.
What a time to lay an egg, Joe. What a time to lay an absolute egg. And again,
that's the thing, G. That's the thing. if this happened in January, or if this happened like in January and they're doing, it was one of those duds. Okay, we understand that. But this is prime time now. They have 10 games left, right? It's 10 games.
I think it's a little more than that. Let me go ahead. I'll get it for you right now. 43, 12 games left.
12 games left. Okay, they played 70 games. There's no margin of error when a couple of wins can mean home court throughout a month worth of playoff games. It makes a difference in the NBA. Home court in the NBA is the most valuable home court, home field, home ice in sports. It used to be football. Now it's basketball, actually. It's actually basketball.
I'll tell you what, though, again, the performance tonight, Joe, it should bring up some concerns for teams with athletes on the wing, for teams out there, but also as well, Josh Giddey just befuddled the Lakers tonight, 2 steals away from a quadruple double. Absolutely just, proving Mark right. He looked like an all-star tonight. But this is a team, Joe, that is 31-40 on the season and absolutely has looked abysmal at times in doing so. Yet tonight, they looked like a completely different team. And I guess your fanboy is asking for blame pie. Doesn't matter. It's 100% on the Lakers for tonight's performance. It is all on them as an organization, from the organization top to bottom, the coaching, the players. They all laid an egg tonight. They all deserve the blame pie tonight, Joe.
Yeah, this was definitely a team loss. The coaching, Billy Donovan had JG on strings in terms of just out coaching tonight. The players didn't really look like the players looked like they could just come on the court and win tonight. That happens, but the timing wasn't good tonight, guys. They needed to get into the win column here after what they did in Milwaukee. It just takes away from the wins that were important. You beat Denver the last 2 times. I'm sorry, you beat Denver this last time, and then the win in Denver, in February, which wasn't too long ago, it was a month ago. You look at those wins and you're like, those were supposed to be seed clinching wins. But then you lose because you chose to lose on a few of those games. And then the game where everyone's coming back and you kind of don't play well. It doesn't make any sense to me. Either you're going to do this or not. Stop playing half-ass basketball. But I'm telling you that this is the culture. This is what it is. Everything is about taking it easy. Be careful. And John and his players are better today. I have a hard time believing and I use the example of David Robinson next to Chet Holmgren. Gerald, come on, really? I mean,
Patrick Ewing against
Patrick
Chet
Ewing, David Robinson next to Chet Holmgren. I mean, did
Shaq.
Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaq. So let's use. I want to
or
use.
Even well, hold on, a step lower. Let's say like Daryl Dawkins.
How about Rick
Chet.
Smits? What would have Rick Smits done? It's how is it that muscle is better in the 90s than it is now? How does that work? Even in professional bodybuilding, you look at the quality of muscle that was built in the 90s. It's light years better than now. So what do you mean things are better now? I think what you mean to say is technology and supplements are better now, but the person has become lazier because of the fact that they have things that are quicker. But the quality is still not there. You look at Chet Holmgren, he looks like he sleeps in a coffin. You look at somebody like David Robinson, who looks like a chiseled statue of David. And that guy was a complete package. Defense, offense, leader, everything. You're gonna tell me that Chet Holmgren is better than David Robinson? You're gonna tell me that Wembanyama is better than Hakeem at this point? You're gonna tell me AI is not as good as John Morant? That's not gonna fly. And these guys are making more money now than ever. And then these guys need rest more than ever, and they're better? Better at what? Shooting? Of course they're going to be better at shooting. That's all they do. You're telling me that AI couldn't have adapted to shooting? Kobe couldn't have adapted to shooting? Tracy McGrady couldn't have adapted to shooting? How about Larry Bird? Larry Bird averaged 2 3-pointers a game in his career. What would Larry Bird's career 3-point shots be if he had 8, 9 shots a game? Yeah. I'm not going to buy it. Big Country Reeves sucked, by the way. The only time he played somewhat decent was for some weird reason. This is what Shaq said. He played well against Shaq for some weird reason. I think probably because he could draw him out. He could draw Shaq out a little bit, and he was one of those guys that could actually try and attempt to shoot at that time.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro along with me, Joe Glassford. Thanks again for watching this. And the Lakers get trounced 146 to 115. We'll try come back with a
Jeff,
show
true
tomorrow.
That. Sorry.
Yes, that is a good point, Jeff. He would probably still be terrible. But yes, we'll try to come back tomorrow with another show tomorrow night. We'll see on that. But definitely be back for Monday on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And of course, the Lakers post game here. Joe, the Lakers head out for 4 games on the road where they're under 500. I hope people are getting concerned. They have a right and need to be concerned because the Lakers have not shown consistency out on the road. And with the way that they might be resting players, that's a possibility. Who knows what's going to go on as far as the lineups for these 4 games are concerned. How do you think they'll approach it now that the Lakers lost this game today, basically punted the game on Thursday, and now are looking at an uphill climb trying to get back to second place in the Western Conference?
Well, I would tell the team that if you win the next 4 games on the road, you go above 500 for the year, and you make up.
They'll be at 500. I think they're 15 and 19.
They're
so they'll
16
be at
and
500.
19, I think, on the road.
16? Okay,
Yeah,
I'll take a look. Yeah, no worries.
Might be 15 and 18. I think they're 15 and 18 actually.
15 and 18. Yeah, so they would be over 500. You're right.
There has to be this camaraderie on the road that sometimes forms. They're not at home. They're not hanging out with the fam. They're just focused on team activities, going out, maybe going to the movies, having dinner together. Things tend to get closer with the chemistry when you do that. I think they should take advantage of this road trip and really go into every game and putting your mental focus in the game and conditioning for the playoffs. You want to beat Orlando, you want to beat Indiana, and then you want to return the favor to Chicago when you go to the United Center. And the big game, at least before tonight's game, was supposed to be that Memphis game. The Memphis game was supposed to be the beginning of the next few games where the Lakers have to kind of solidify that second seed, because they're going to face Memphis for that last leg on the road trip. Then they come back home and play Houston, and then they play Golden State. Those kind of wins kind of set you, because it's double the win. They lose, and
now they have to go 3-0 against those 3 teams in those 3 games.
They can make up some ground in these terrible losses that they decided to have on their own, either by lackluster performance or just giving up a game. They can make up for it by winning all 4 of these road games. That's what probably needs to happen so that they can still have a chance at getting that 2 seed. I am gung-ho about that 2 seed. that 2 seed is imperative for me, in my view, of them making a legitimate run. A 3rd seed could work still, but it just lessens the ability to do so, because the Lakers team is not really equipped yet for Luka Doncic and his skill set. This team doesn't really have a starting center, and I think the Lakers need one more athletic guard that could really, really penetrate the hoop, and obviously shoot. Essentially, what they need is they need a Gabe Vincent they need a guard that can. They need like a KCP. That's really what they need. Not now, the KCP. Now I'm talking about the KCP win in 2020.
JY on that note said, will KCP be on his game because he's facing his former team when the Lakers go to Orlando?
I don't know if there's ever really been I think KCP has a soft spot for the Lakers because he was having some legal problems at the time when he also made a bad decision in terms of taking money, and the Lakers were there to kind of almost covered his mistakes, but it took some time to, like, they were giving him annual salaries, and they would obviously increase it. He was one of those guys that almost put himself in a really bad position by turning down big money because he was trying to bet on himself. So I don't think he has any ill will towards the Lakers. He's won a championship with them. He's won a championship in Denver. I don't think KCP cares 2 shits about any of that. I think his life is pretty much set. Joe Sawyer, if the Warriors and Wolves fall 7-8, you still want the 2 seed? Yes, I do. It's more important for the Lakers to have home court in the first round, and then have a home court in the second round. I have no doubt that the Lakers, if they're focused, can beat the Warriors or Minnesota. I'm not afraid of either one of those teams. I would prefer for them to play the Clippers, though, because I'd like to have them not have to travel too far. Minnesota is like playing in the East. Traveling to Minnesota would be a pain in the ass. I'd rather play Golden State.
Same thing with Memphis.
Memphis is even worse.
Yeah, I agree. But the Lakers right now are 4th place in the Western Conference. Joe, how do you think they will do on this upcoming road trip? Orlando, after looking just abysmally bad in the recent days, have started to bring things around a little bit. Their top 2 players, Banchero and Wagner, starting to play well together again. Wouldn't you know, just in time as they face off against the Lakers on Monday.
The issue is they're going to probably sit people for that back end of the back-to-back to Chicago. I don't know how that's going to play out, especially if Chicago plays like they did tonight. I was hoping for 3-1 before tonight. If they aren't focused, crossing my fingers for 2-2, but can be worse than 2-2. Based off tonight's performance, I'm going to go 2-2. That's my prediction, 2-2. But 3-1 would be ideal. 4-0 would make this and the Milwaukee loss a little bit less of a hit.
And again, it all comes back to what we saw on Thursday, Joe. And, you and I was just fielding a bunch of comments from the other day on that issue. And, we got a ton of flack back at us about our positions, about how you shouldn't throw away games like these at this end of the season, at this time of the season, when so much is at stake. I don't want to say if you feel justified or vindicated or anything like that, Joe, but really when it comes right down to it, when we say these things, guys, we don't say them as, like you said, El Torino, Gran Turismo, those type of things with Clint Eastwood saying, old man, I'll get off my lawn type deal. We say them because we evaluate things and have been evaluating these things in the NBA for decades. And over the course of decades, you understand that it is so much more difficult the lower seed you are in a particular conference. Joe and I, over the past few days, have been reiterating how hard below a number 2 seed it is to go far in the playoffs. But you guys still don't get it. You still don't get it. And you guys let us have it. Now, 2 days later, after a loss, essentially they punted 2 games, Joe. Essentially, they have punted 2 games in a row at a critical point in the season when you can't afford to punt 2 games.
No, you can't. If the Lakers had, let's say if they had Jakob Poeltl as a center, let's just say, and then they had a DeMar DeRozan. I'm trying to pick realistic players that have good skill sets. Not, I'm not looking at DeRozan from 2016 DeRozan. I'm talking about now. If you had a DeRozan and a Poeltl on this team, and you really wanted to save yourself a little bit for the playoff run, I'd be like, okay, let's see if they can make this work. But they don't have those guys. They don't have a player that can really make you pay when the first 2 or 3 options are done. Because as good as Austin Reeves is, as good as Luka and LeBron are, you still need a guy that can. The Lakers still needed Robert Horry. They still needed D. Fish to hit certain shots that it just takes a special player to do. Ron Harper hit a game winner even in the first years of the three-peat. One of the really, really good clutch shots that I feel like even Laker fans don't talk about is that Game 3 in Portland. After Portland beat the Lakers in Game 2 in that Western Conference Finals series, Kobe found, and this was Ron Harper, by the way, folks. This is Ron Harper who said, "I'll be open. Get me the ball." Kobe dribble. His defender sagged off a little bit. Ron Harper probably knew that was going to happen. He said, "Just give me the ball, drop it." And he did. They ended up winning that game and went up 2-0. I'm sorry, 2-1. They need that kind of player. They need like a player that it's not just the guy that's controlling the ball like Austin or Luka. Somebody that can just get the ball and score the second he gets the ball, or if he's in a certain spot. And then as far as somebody like Poeltl is a bona fide starting center in the NBA, someone who isn't also making 40, 50 million a year. That's what they need. They need that guy, someone who can rebound, someone who can, you don't have to worry about making a couple dribbles in traffic and not being able to shoot a ball. These are things that we have to worry about Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes, great lob player, has been playing better than he ever has since Luka's come, but the second people get the Edward Scissorhands on him, he starts to fumble the ball. He's just that's how his game is. He just doesn't have that concentration to grab that ball and dunk on people, right? So how to combat that with this is there's the Lakers need an easier path just from the labor intensiveness of this, because it means with the shorter lineups and the shorter rotations, it means that more emphasis is going to be on Luka, Austin, and LeBron. So I would prefer to have those guys not get taxed as much, especially LeBron. Especially LeBron. We need him as fresh as possible in the Western Conference Finals, possibly the finals. If they're going to be in this, life or death gamut between, right out the gate, and they have to go travel to Denver to start the series or Memphis, it's not going to go well. The role players are not equipped to play on the road in the playoffs. This is not that kind of team.
But we do have to go ahead and keep getting through this again as the Lakers head out on a 4-game road trip. The Lakers tonight just didn't get it done.
Yeah, and the reiteration, the reiteration of us talking about softness and weak, that has more than just basketball behind it. I'm never going to do a TED Talk. I'm never going to do an interview really deliberately trying to talk about how to live your life. I don't do any of that shit. This discussion just falls in line with what we're talking about, and maybe I'll throw a little bit of who I am here and there just because it's part of the dialogue. But you guys want to learn a lesson, is if there's anything to learn, you want to learn every day if you can. Being soft is just not a way to live, because I see it. I've seen it so many times. You live a soft, weak life, you will have soft, weak things around you. You won't have stability around you. You won't have a good spouse. You won't have respectable children. You won't have good friends. You won't have a stable business or a stable working environment. It just won't. It'll always linger, because excuses breed that stuff. If you're not going to get rid of the problem, no one is perfect. You make bad decisions. We all make bad decisions. But how do you avoid making the same bad decision over and over again? You stop doing it. Stop being weak. Stop being soft. Do the job. Get off your ass and do it. And then you'll be better for it in the end. And I would like to. I expect these guys to do the same. They're getting paid more than 50 generations with some of these guys in 1 year's pay. So if you think we're being entitled as a fan base, expecting them to play and be available, I feel sorry for you, because that's a skewed way of looking at life. We have every right to criticize these players for being soft, because they are playing soft. We have every excuse to demand that they play. And I don't want to hear about, oh, you don't know what these guys go through. Fuck that. What do they go through? Free flights anywhere they want, first class, nutritionists, massage therapists, millions of dollars. What am I missing here? What exactly am I missing here? Am I supposed to feel sorry for these guys because they have an owie on their ankle? You don't want to play 82 games a year. You want to play 60? I want to see you take that out of your check, so that those 22 games, that team can go find someone to cover your missing time. Don't they have temps in the real world, G?
Yep.
But you can't do that. You can't do that in sports, right? Maybe, sort of.
But I want to ask you this. It's funny because one of the responses back that we got on Thursday was, well, no one here is at the game. Because I said, what if you are there when on Thursday and you walked up to the crypto.com arena and you just found out Luka and, of course, LeBron being hurt, but Luka and Austin were given the day off. Fando was given the day off. DFS was given the day off, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you basically punted that game, asking for a refund. Why don't you guys get it? Why don't you guys get a discount that go to the game? And the response back was, well, we were not at the game. But Raphael, Zach, others have been to NBA games in recent weeks. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights was at the Lakers game not too long ago. These guys could have easily experienced those same things that crowd on Thursday night and that crowd tonight saw, as far as the egg that they laid tonight and the game that they punted on Thursday. It just makes sense, Joe. If you're going to go ahead and give up games like that, let's just not play these games at all. Let's just go ahead and reduce their salaries and go ahead and reduce the number of games. But you know what? I'll say this. The 82-game season has been in place for decades. And even though NBA Chilena, as I left you on WhatsApp, Joe, that message that he posted in regards to it, and there was others about the 80s and 90s, what have you, that they were one someone would try to justify that, oh yeah, they were taking cocaine at the time, so that's why they could do what they did as far as that's concerned. Okay. I'm sure every single player was on cocaine at that time, Joe, during the 80s and 90s. But all right, if that's what you want to say, fine. So be it. Whatever. I'm just going to say this. Again, the Lakers fans do not deserve these kind of efforts in the past 2 games. This is a team that with Luka, you need to go places each and every year that you have them, if you have him on your roster. Because if you don't, you are wasting his talents. And we saw in that first quarter what you can see from an individual like that if he is given enough talent around him, Joe.
Yeah, it's going to be an important summer for the new era of basketball in LA. The results of this season won't really, other than winning a championship, won't really be fulfilled. Really, it's just it's too dramatic of a change, and it's a change that I've never seen to this capacity. I just never in a million years I could have imagined someone trading a generational player in his, not even in his prime yet, randomly for another player who was a generational player and now is on the downside of that generational talent. I just it's been a whirlwind since February 1. It's been this roller coaster, and the season in general, though. You started off with D'Angelo Russell, and now you have DFS, and then you traded AD, and going back and forth on whether Max Christie's an NBA player, and the second Bronny James makes a couple shots, all of a sudden now he's going to be an all-star in the next few years. It could be exhausting for some people, and then you have people out there interpreting things that you're saying the way they are. Okay, get in line. If you can't hack, if you think it's bad now, wait till you're actually really out there. The interpretation is going to be different no matter what you say, what you do. There's going to be people who think you're doing something one way, and then there's this maybe a couple different other people who think you're doing the other way, and you're saying, how can I be both? I can't be both. Which one is it?
I'm just going to say this, Joe. Okay, if you're going to respond to us by giving
I haven't seen Luka Sanfilippo in a while.
Yeah, and this is what he comes up with. First of all, he didn't start off the sentence with a capital. Second of all, my name is Gerald, not Gerard. You spelled that wrong.
You can blame Danny for that.
And then second of all, or third of all, excuse me, is that sorry or scary or skew?
You probably meant sorry.
That's even better than the Earth one that you did, Joe. So okay, there you go. You said you did yours intentionally. I'm going to give you credit for that one. But yes, if you're going to respond back and saying we're full of BS, at least spell it.
I'm just enjoying Xbox and Sports Babies.
Oh yeah, that was great. That's the best part of the game, was that you and John were going off on each other, and in the comments, Joe, Xbox and Sports Baby were going off. That was absolutely our finest, outside the Lakers losing, of course, our finest stage and chat performance on playback ever was tonight. If you guys want to go back, I am going to try and leave it up, hoping I won't get any copyrights for that. Yes, it is, of course, on our YouTube channel right now. So
people like what they like. People like what they like. If it's the usual BS, I don't know what the usual BS is, I guess, unless it's discussing weak ass bitches out there. Yeah, I've been reiterating that. We've been talking about that a lot for a while. And usually what the old saying is, hit a nerve, hit a target. So Luka, did we hit a target there? Did we hit a nerve? Are you feeling like one of them pussies that we're talking about? Because that's what it sounds
evidently
like.
Yeah, evidently, because again, you're not bringing anything to us. We have been proven more right than any of you guys that were talking smack to us on Thursday or tonight because of what we said.
And maybe that's part of it. The fact that we came out right with it.
Yeah.
And again, we're not here to be right. We're
We want the
analyzing.
Lakers to win.
We want them to win. But winning by scaling back, it doesn't work out usually. It just doesn't. It doesn't. It sets bad habits. It sets a precedent of bad habits. If you're in denial of that, then that's on you. And the same people who are sitting there talking about Bronny James being an NBA player last night because there's nothing else to talk about after him dropping a negative 36 in the plus minus category. What do you want? What is it you're actually doing there when you're talking about that kind of stuff? Did you watch the game? Did you see how he got his points? And what difference does it make? Seriously, what difference does it make? Are we here to worry about what some G League player is doing because his name is James? Or are you not focused on the fact that you had essentially a G League team playing an NBA team at home because you felt like you could punt the game? These are the things we're talking about. You're concerned with the X or the Twitter or the social media trash. Get your asses off your phone looking at stupid ass memes and skanks all over the place. That stuff melts your brain. Now, unfortunately, I have to go through this shit because when you own a business, social media plays a big part in things. So you run into all this stuff. Plus, I have friends that send me shit all the time. So what is it that you're trying to get? What is it? What BS that we keep telling you? Is it something that maybe reminds you of your parents telling you what to do or who you are, what you should be? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I needed more emphasis on what BS meant to him.
Yeah, same here. I mean, you come with us at that with that stuff, and it's just like you don't elaborate. You just generalize. You generalize, and you just come back. Oh, what BS? What specify? What BS? Clarify your position. Spell and phonetically get it right so that everyone can understand what you're trying to say. But again, that's just minor nitpicking. If you're going to troll us well.
This is our standard. This is our standard. Kobe Bean Bryant. That's our standard. And much like life in general, getting to that standard is probably not attainable for a lot of you, but at least trying to get there is admirable. But that's the standard that I saw for 20 years. So I'm scarred with it. I don't know what else to tell you. If that's an issue, that's a you problem. And if you think we're going to scale back because we're trying to adapt to the audience or adapt to how you want us to be, fuck you. Never. Ever. Ever. I'm never going to do it. It'll never happen. You can never convince anyone in their right mind that playing it soft, playing it weak is the right way to go. I'd rather have greatness 10 times than mediocre 30 times. How about that? Is that an easy way to explain it, G? I'd rather be great for 10 than be fucking average for 30.
And all I can say, chat, is yes, Sports Baby and Xbox are friends. They're mates in Australia. Contrary to what the entire chat forum between those two have gone on here and on playback, those two are mates. And I'll just say that in Australian terms. So I'll just leave it at that. They're just as hilarious as you and John were tonight. If I have time, I'm going to try and see if I can make a short, or not a short, but I can make a video of that argument tonight. I really got to see if I can do it. It's hilarious. I just wish I could put in the national anthem into it, but I know I'll get a copyright on that. So yeah, absolutely. That was just
we got to figure out a way around this shit, man. I can't believe we can't put stuff in things without having to worry about getting jacked.
Right now, I'm not on the double. I'm on the single secret probation list. So just got to be on my P's and Q's for now. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. The Lakers they get waxed tonight, 146 to 115. But we will try to come back.
I have a theory on that. YC actually was talking about this earlier today. I think somebody has dirt on Howard Stern. Wait, I think I pressed the wrong one. Hold on.
No, they were. YYC says you sure they're friends. Yeah.
YYC said even Howard Stern went PC. I think Howard Stern went PC because I think somebody has dirt on him.
Or you don't think it's that serious deal?
No.
Okay.
No, I think somebody has dirt on him. We talked about Arnold possibly having some dirt, and then I think when I hear De Niro talk politics, especially when it comes to Trump, because he's in Tribeca, I think I actually have a theory that I think something happened in New York with him and Trump that it's more personal. So yeah, a lot of the guys that are coming out of the woodwork in terms of personality changes, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact I have a pretty good feeling that it's somebody has something going on there. I found out recently that Eminem was getting paid. I think he got paid $8 million by the Democratic Party to speak about things. So dig deep a little bit more, guys, on what, where, and why people do things. A lot of times, I'd say there's two reasons why. Number one, they're getting paid, or there's something going on where they have to do it, and that is the other good part about kind of closing off your surroundings as much as you can. You don't have to deal with, especially when you're not doing anything weird. There's a lot of weird people out there, dude. A lot of weird people. I don't do weird things. I don't go to weird parties. I don't hang out with people. I mean, people are stupid, number one, and people are weird. It's very easy to spot those guys, at least for me. Stay away from anything weird. Stay at home. Hang out with your friends that you've known for a long time. Be careful. And you'll find yourself not having to worry about getting caught up in some bullshit where you got to be fake because somebody's going to call you out. That's funny, Mission. I would never want to be that piece of shit.
Before we head on out, just want to mention that an update on the ESPN bracket challenge for us. I don't know if you guys can see that, but lo and behold, after 3 days, look who is number one, Joe. Looky.
Why do y'all have Duke? Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
man.
you
guys got a lot of Duke.
Yeah,
Duke win it all. Really?
Yes, Duke to win it all. I told you, Joe, I said mainly chalk this year, and right now I am 96% correct on all 3 days, which is probably my best ever through 3 days. So we'll see how I get killed tomorrow, but this is probably my best performance ever through 3 days. 96%. I am in first. Z Money is right after me with 92.5%. Stone Hansen, give him some props, Joe. He had a terrible day one, but probably the best day two, because he moved from under 50% up to 87% right after day three. ESPN fan, he a whole bunch of numbers. I don't know who that is. He has a Houston championship pick there. He is at 87%. EQ is at 68%. JY in our chat right now is at 68%. Robert Wheeler, sorry, Robert, 59%. I am Easy Flash is at 59%. And Frito Bang, 14.8%, and I'll just leave it at that. I think Frito Bang was intentionally trying to pick the wrong team. Yes, it is not pink. It is Lakers purple and gold. It has never been pink. Joe is just blind as a bat, but we will just go ahead and leave it on that. But yes, Sports Baby said the Joe Soro experiment is coming soon. Talking about the Dodgers, Lakers, Steelers, NFL, Sports World, and more. So go ahead and check it out today. I got it right that time. The experiment is coming.
You can just say experiment. It still flows. Experiment.
It's still fun. But yes, make sure you like and subscribe to go ahead and get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air. We'll try to come back on tomorrow to get you prepped for the road trip. We'll see if Joe's awake when we want to go on the air. We'll see what that happens. But for now, it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do lose 146-115. Sports Baby like the term waxed, which is what the Lakers got tonight. So again, join us, though, on the road trip. I'll have the games on playback. And then, of course, the simulcast set up for you guys as well on YouTube. Joe, after being proven right after tonight's game, based on our comments on Thursday's game, any last thoughts before we head on out?
Proven right.
Hate to say I told you so, guys.
I'm not trying to be right, man. I'm just trying to figure out when doing things you're supposed to do is the norm.
Okay.
Things just get weaker and weaker, it seems, every year. But we'll see. We'll see if they can make up some ground here on the road. Maybe harness some next level focus. We'll be here to watch and we'll be here to talk. So enjoy.
Maybe John will ultimately realize the inevitable that Jordan is the greatest of all time.
Oh yeah, John is in denial, man. I mean, the fact that he just kept repeating everything. I'm like, what do you? I don't know what he was on.
Well, they said the 80s and 90s players.
He couldn't get off. He couldn't get off this 2016 run, but that LeBron had. I go, okay. So it became just a shouting match about how LeBron beat the best team ever. I'm like, that wasn't the best team ever. The best team ever is still in debate. The best team ever is still in debate. You don't know if it's the 96 Bulls. You don't know if it's the 01 Lakers. You don't know if it's the 86 Celtics. You don't know if it's the 67 Sixers. And no one knows that shit. 76 Sixers was a pretty damn good team. We don't know. It's all kind of... I can't know. I wasn't around in 67. I can't know. I wasn't old enough in 87 or 86. I was around for 96. I wasn't around for 72 for the Lakers title, 33 in a row. I was there for 01. And you've heard me say it, the greatest run I've ever seen in a 10-month span between two seasons is the 01 Lakers. They lost 2 meaningful games in 10 months.
I don't see any odds listed yet, Sam, on ESPN when I go to the schedule for the spread. I'm assuming it's going to be anywhere from, 2 to 4, maybe for Orlando. But that's just a guess. Maybe as even low as the pick'em based on the action if a lot of Lakers fans bet on it. So we'll see. But I'd put it right now 2 or 3 for Orlando. So, all right. The Lakers head out on the road, needing a lot of wins. Can they get them? We'll find out. And Joe, this crowd tonight, I'm telling you.
Mark is killing me.
Yes. Big shout out to our moderators who give the ultimate love to each other. Mark
Sports Baby is a dumb R spacer.
And Var, aka Xbox and Sports Baby. Guys are crazy.
Hold on. He's got a good one too. Replace Sports Baby with Sam Khan as mod. Oh man, because I can hear Mark say it, and it's funny.
Guys are just crazy.
all he had to do was throw in a bloke in there, and it would have been perfect.
Yes. But it is the Lakers fast break.
Man.
We truly appreciate you joining us. Lakers get killed tonight, but we'll be back for more. Hopefully tomorrow, definitely on Monday. So go ahead and join us for that. Again, if you want to go ahead and subscribe, please do so. Like the video on your way out. Subscribe if you're not yet a member of this channel. And then, of course, become a member on a $2.99 a month basis. The best value in sports YouTubing is, of course, right here at the Lakers Fast Break. So for Joe Soro, it is me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this. Truly appreciate it. Hopefully we'll be back tomorrow. We'll definitely be back on Monday for more fun and hijinks. Will the Lakers get their act together once they go out on the road? We'll find out. Now that they're all back together, can we start seeing some wins? We'll talk about it right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast.
Oh, it was funny.